Okay, I'm going to test out this FX818 Pterosaur. It's a very cheap plane, it's only made of foam. I've got my 10-year-old son who's going to fly this. This is how easy it's going to be. Right, have you switched it on? Alright. I've got about 5 acres here and it is unbelievably easy to fly. Not sure if you can pick it up all that well, but it's only about a light 1 or 2 kilometre wind going in the direction of where the plane is now. Oh. Bring it closest, Isaac.
Yeah.
Not sure if you can pick it up. It's hard to see the screen. Turn around. Basically, you can fly this thing for about half an hour, easy. A lot of the times you don't really use any throttle on the controller. It just basically glides in the air. So well designed. There's a few other types. I think it's the same guy who makes all these models that are really cheap on eBay or some of those American sites. The name starts with the FX letters and then they go from 801 to 802, 803, I think up to 20 or 24. I own an FX 803, I think it is. A little Cessna, but this one is by far the most responsive and very, very well maneuvered plane. Wherever you want it to go, it will go. Even if it's a bit windier, like today's only like 1 or 2 kilometres. We're in the middle of winter, so, and we're probably in this little bit of a gully here. We're up higher, it might be a little bit windier. As I said, my son's only 10 years old and he can easily fly it. It's a very, very cheap plane, like for $40. But I highly recommend, if you ever buy one, is to get a bit of Gorilla Glue, which I found that's the most versatile glue for if you got, you know, kids that have got model cars or airplanes or even things at home. You only need very, very little amount of this Gorilla Glue to be used. And I always glue the propellers with the most minimal amount of glue right on the tip, and I push the propellers on by about only 3 or 4 mil. Because I've owned these ones before and you do lose a lot of propellers because once they hit the ground they can come off quite easily. That's it, you know, you can have it just a few feet off the ground. Get it higher, Isaac. Turn it right. We've had it right at the back of the property, which is probably good 120 metres, and the thing is turned around and quite easily. Isaac, get it where you had it before, right at the back of the property. Show the other kids. There's the other kids watching this. You probably won't see this in the video because it's, as I said, right at the moment it's about 60 or 70 metres away. You could have gone further than that. You had it further than that an hour ago.
Yeah, but then I couldn't see it.
Yeah, alright. There's also some power lines that run across our property. We've had it so close to the power lines that it's also got some landing gear. It can easily be landed. We've got some cows there, sheep. As I said, I highly recommend this aeroplane. It's actually only made of foam, and it's so lightweight. Absolutely brilliant for the money. And it's really good for getting your kids involved in you know, these model aircraft and things like that. And if you're sort of interested in drones as well, it's probably good to get your kids this plane first to get them used to the controls, because this is only a 2-channel one, but really responsive. See, that's flying into the wind at the moment, and you can hardly use any power. You know, that's why it's only going really slowly at the moment, going into the wind. Then once you turn it around, the wind just takes it. Well, I hope you enjoy that. If you've got any questions, I can help you out there. You can it's so easy to recover. You know, you can get it right close to the ground and quite easily get it back off the ground. As I said, we had an FX, was it 803? It's a little Cessna, and it was nowhere near as responsive as this one. This one's a little bit wider, and the wings are curved a little bit, which makes it a far better glider. That's why you could easily fly this for half an hour. Because a lot of the times you're not even using power at all, you're just using your right and left throttle, which uses only one of the propellers to move left and right. Okay. That's the controls that he's using. See, look, down on the left hand side is throttle, and it's just so no engines are running at the moment, and it's just flying. Alright, he just landed it. Okay, inside now, and I'm talking to myself. Okay, this is my other aeroplane. Can you see the difference? Now that's a FX 803 with, I lost the propellers. You can see that these propellers, I think they're only about 45 centimetres long, where these ones here are 60 millimeters long, or 65. I've lost the original ones, but I was able to get some replacements on eBay. And just make sure you get, you need to know which one is clockwise and which one are counterclockwise, because each propeller spins in the opposite direction, so they're actually two different propellers. So when you do order propellers for these things, spare ones, just look for the ones that you want. They're either CWs or CCWs, and try not to get them mixed up, because the plane won't fly that well. Not sure what else I can say. As I said, I always put a bit of glue to make sure the landing gear doesn't get lost. Put a bit of glue there, and I've put glue on the edges of the wings to make sure that they are a bit more stable. You actually can get these planes with LEDs underneath them, but this one doesn't. And you can actually buy this with a different controller that it's got trim, because sometimes these little motors, after a while, they don't spin the same revs per second as each other. That's why I was probably a little bit disappointed with the controller. It doesn't have trim, where this one had a controller with trim, and at the moment one of these motors are spinning far too fast than the other, and I need to replace these little 20mm by 6mm brushed motors. And again, you need to get the right one for the right sides. This one has a built-in LiPo battery in it, where you just charge it from a mini, I'm not sure that focused anyway. But yeah, this one here has a compartment for the battery where you can pull out and recharge. Now this is only a I don't have it autofocus. Yes, I do. There you go. It's only a 300 milliamp, 3.7 volt, lossy, L-O-S-I, lossy connector. Very cheap. You can get these very cheap if you want a spare one, but they don't. It's not recommended to have this continuously going for a long period of time. I think the little circuitries in them just seem to burn out. Anyway, I think that's the guy's name that makes all these different FX aeroplanes. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and